Carolina Hurricanes yesterday had the in-season hockey equivalent of like the field day picnic at the office, right? Where your boss is the cool boss. You show up, everybody go around out back to the parking lot. We have picnic tables set up. We're going to do some barbecuing and some cornhole. Everybody take a break today. And why does a boss do that? Same reason why I think yesterday might have been good for the Canes. You do it to reset the batteries. You do it because you think everybody might be wound a little tight. Everybody's been hammering out those TPS reports a little too angrily. Every single email that you read is starting with, as per what I said before, right? All the passive aggressive stuff, and the boss just goes, you know what? I think we need to fire up the grill out back. Who wants some burgers? Canes yesterday, there was an alumni game, just good vibes. Rod Brind'Amour scored a goal. There was Seth Jarvis at Canes Corner. If you want good vibes, give a microphone to Seth Jarvis. There was not a game other than the alumni game to play. And there's not a game today. So not like at that evening, it's not even like, well, you still got to get to bed early because you got a day to recover. There was a good vibes day for the Canes. And I think it's a good time to set what you want, set your coordinates for the next 3 months. Yesterday, right, because sometimes I do think we meaning I, throw the we out there so I can share blame with all these mythical people that stand behind me.
The royal we.
Yeah. We, meaning I, sometimes need to take a step back and explain my base level for the Canes. Right? Because sometimes I get to nitpicking and I get to, they need to do this and this doesn't feel right. And you watch the game and you're unfulfilled. And then something like yesterday happens where Dennis just goes, well, they are a postseason team. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yes, they are. Right? And there's a bunch of teams in the NHL that would love to be in the position the Canes are in now. And then after that, right? Because once the universe wants you to know something, it just keeps pounding you over the head with it. Dennis kind of goes, well, postseason team. And then last night I go home and I'm on ESPN.com watching the game, got the computer out, and I see ESPN graded every NHL team's first half. And I'm like, ooh, let me go see what the Canes are. And I'm expecting, you ever turn in like a paper and you're expecting just red pen all over it from the teacher? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking they're going to get them, right? They're going to get them for not getting the goalie situation settled. They're going to get them for the scoring drought some of their players are on. They're going to get them for not winning 3 straight games since mid-November. They're going to get them A-. A-.
I got 93. All right, let's go.
Yeah, it's like, really? You don't even want to go up and like ask questions about it because you don't want the teacher to go, oh, sorry. No. That was supposed to be a 73. My bad. I can't read my own handwriting sometimes. You just take it and you run.
Did you read the last page?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't do good.
Yeah. You didn't notice that I finished. It was a 5-page paper. I finished with 4 and then just used a thesaurus to add words throughout. You didn't even catch that one? The line that kind of encompassed, and this is straight from the ESPN article, was Carolina has stayed on track despite some recent setbacks, particularly with their goaltending and scoring. Now, hilarious, right? Goaltending and scoring. That's like if it wasn't for that pitching and hitting, the baseball team was really, right where they started. I was surprised, but also it's a good reminder that my expectations for the Canes are so high that I can feel a little angry sometimes, and outsiders are looking at it going, A-. Still a postseason team. It also adds to something that I think the Canes have as an advantage, which is they can use the next 3 months. Almost exactly, by the way. Last year, the postseason started April 20th, being January 14th. So 3 months and a week. They can use the next 3 months with the postseason as a due date, right? That's when you have to be ready. They can plan as if they are a postseason team, which is an advantage. They don't have to unload all of their ammunition to make sure they make the postseason. If they keep playing the way they're playing, they'll be there in the dance at the end, which is an advantage. Seth Jarvis, I mentioned yesterday, he was on the Canes Corner. He was the guest of honor. You could have heard it right here on 99.9 The Fan. We have some clips just to refresh what Seth was saying. Here he is talking about this team being judged on postseason success.
There's only one winner. I mean, you see all the time the team that wins the President's Trophy in the regular season doesn't always win the Stanley Cup, and that's kind of the mindset that I think everybody has now, is just doing the best you can to get into playoffs. Then right when playoffs starts, a whole new season, everyone's at the same level. No one's won anything. Everyone starts 0-0. So it's kind of just having that mindset of getting into the playoffs, and then from there is really when it kind of takes that next step, and that's kind of the hump we're trying to get over.
You can catch, if you missed it, or that just kind of sparked something you want to hear a full conversation. Video is up on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, of the entire Canes Corner broadcast last night. Seth is right. They will be judged on the postseason. So the question is, how do you best use the next 3 months to be ready for when you are judged for the postseason, to not have the things that are annoying or unfulfilling or not getting it done now not be a problem then? More from Jarvis last night on the team figuring it out.
Ups and downs, like every kind of year. I think this year has been a little bit different. I feel the last couple of years have been a really good regular season team. I think this year we're kind of sputtering a little bit, but I mean, like you said, we're in a playoff spot. We're getting better each and every game, and I think we're starting to figure out our identity.
Ooh, trying to figure it out. Starting to figure it out. I think the Canes have always had an identity, if we're being honest. I think the Canes are one of the few teams in the NHL. You could take off the jerseys, you could put them in blank uniforms, you run them out there, skate them out there, I should say, and you watch a game, you'll be able to identify who it is. To me, there's two things the next 3 months are about. One, figure out if your postseason goalie is on the roster and who it is, if they are. Is it Kochetkov, and you're going to let him work through some of the things that have been kind of, pebble in the shoe as of recently? If it's Kochetkov, then you do everything you can to help him work through that. Are you okay with yourself if it's Freddie Andersen and it doesn't work out again? I know that's not always the best way to make decisions, but sometimes think of yourself in the future. Think of it not working out. Right, you lose in the second round again. Are you going to hate yourself if it's Freddie Andersen that wasn't able to get it done again? Sometimes I think about when I'm gambling, if I'm sports gambling, making a pick, and I'm like, I don't know which side I want to be on here, and I think of, you know what, it's like a Mahomes deal, right? Like if I pick against the Chiefs and I lose, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. If you pick Freddie Andersen to get it done in the postseason, stay healthy and step up in the biggest moments, and it doesn't work out, are you really going to sit there and be cool and be, you know what, I'd made the right call? Or are you going to be like, history kind of told me this is how I was going to break out. Probably should have seen it coming. So figure out the goalie, and that's more, that leads to more questions. It's not a direct path to an answer. And then also this. I agree and I defend Rod Brind'Amour in almost everything. And he will forget more hockey than I will ever know. I do think I have a pretty good idea of what goes through athletes' brains, though, and how they react. And if there's one thing that I just go, and it happens in the postseason a lot, but it definitely happens down the stretch, is sometimes I'm going like, I wish he would be it's not 10%. It's like 35% more patient with certain lines. I think he gets to shuffling and trying new things a little quick in the biggest moments. So the next 3 months, figure out what the lines that you love are, and then be prepared to be patient with them. Right? If it's Svetch, Stahl, and Martinook, which I actually kind of like the way they've been looking as of late, then even if they start with like 2 games of shifts you're not happy with, let that one rock. If it's Roslovic, Aho, Jarvis, what else do we have going right now? Kind of Robinson, KK, Natchez. Like if that's what you like, experiment over the next 3 months. Make sure it's what you like. Make sure. I'm not saying you have to decide now and then it's that forever. But when the games get biggest, I think athletes do better with routine. I think they like knowing who they're next to. I think they get those things kind of locked in. And if you start shaking, it can rattle their confidence a bit. So that's what I think the next 3 months are about. Understanding that you've put yourself in a situation with the level of hockey you play, the players you've assembled, that you don't have to necessarily worry, at least not yet unless things take a giant turn, worry about making the postseason. You have to worry about being ready for the postseason. Goalie, stability.